So once again, good morning, my dear students. Today also, I would be giving you some tips, some important topics, some important questions regarding your preparation for pre-board and board exams. I will be taking business studies today again because very soon you are going to have your business studies exam. I hope you all are preparing well. But just to tell you, business studies this year, a lot of changes in the question paper pattern has been made by CBSE. Some of the topics have been reduced, and it is done so as to give students some sort of relief due to this pandemic we have faced and still we are facing. I would be just discussing with you uh, my experiences of such situations where students are on the verge of uh, giving the exam, and they feel like they have not done so much required for the exams till now. So I would just give you some of the important topics which everybody must study, everybody must prepare for the exam so that they may uh, get through. They may get through convincingly. They may get through. I would not say very easily, but at least the chances of not getting through are reduced to minimum. So I will again start chapter wise, and I will start from the last chapter of business studies, that is consumer protection. Consumer protection. So, my dear students, in consumer protection, the most important two topics are rights of a consumer, rights and duties of a consumer, and responsibilities of a consumer. Rights and responsibilities of a consumer according to Consumer Protection Act. You must be familiar with these rights of a consumer, and also you must be familiar with the responsibilities of the consumer. If you have not gone through yet about these topics, not read them, please read these topics very, very importantly. Next one is reliefs and remedies. Reliefs and remedies available to a consumer in case of any sort of fraud, or any case of exploitation, in case he has been sold uh, goods and items of substandard. These topic is very, very. So, my dear students, this topic is also very, very important and probable for your board exam as to what are the reliefs and remedies available to a consumer. Then, in this, you can go with the question importance of Consumer Protection Act. Importance of Consumer Protection. Why it is important for the consumers? Why Consumer Protection Act is important? Because there are many reasons where consumers are ignorant, where consumers do not have any knowledge about the marketing strategies. They do not have any idea of what are their rights. They need to be informed, and these uh, Consumer Protection Act safeguard their interest. So who is a consumer, you should know what are his rights, responsibilities, why Consumer Protection Act is necessary for them, and lastly, what are the ways and means of protecting them through different organizations, through government regulations, control, interventions. These are the four topics to be studied in the chapter. But for the exam point of view, I would suggest number one, reliefs and remedies available to a consumer. Number two, rights and responsibilities of a consumer. Rights and responsibilities of a consumer. Moving on to our next chapter, chapter number 11, which is marketing management. It is a lengthy chapter. It has a lot of different topics to be covered, but seeing the reduced syllabus, the topics which have been uh, deleted from this chapter, I would suggest only three important, very important topics to be studied from this chapter. Number one is marketing mix, which includes four P's: product, price, physical distribution, and promotion. Out of which physical distribution is deleted. So the most probable topic is price and promotion. Price and promotion. Price पे जो बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आ सकता है आपका, दैट वुड बी, आई सजेस्ट, what are the factors affecting the price of a product, how it is decided, price of a product, and out of branding, labeling and packaging, out of branding, labeling and packaging, one would be there in the exam, right? A case study relating to any of these can be there, and the advantages of these branding, labeling or packaging can be asked from the uh, paragraph. Number two is sales promotion techniques or methods or activities, जिसमें से आप पूछ सकते हैं what are the different sales promotion techniques, or a case study may be there, a question may be there where you may be asked to identify, you may be asked to identify which particular promotion technique is it. Is it product combination? It is quantity gift? Is it discount? Is it rebate? Is it usable benefit, or exchange offer, or lucky draw? And you may be asked to name some other, and uh, name some other, and you will be asked to review, or you will be asked to answer the different activities which promote sales. Another important topic which I am guessing from this chapter is difference between marketing and selling. Marketing and selling. What is the difference between marketing and selling? दोनों में से, दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या है, और why the marketing concept is gaining popularity, though selling is a part of it, but that can also be a important question out of this chapter, जिसमें कि वो differentiate होगा, differentiate between marketing and selling. Next chapter is, before this, the next chapter is financial markets. Financial markets. In the financial market chapter, there are though many important topics, but I would suggest you to go through these ones. The first and the foremost topic to be studied from this chapter is about SEBI. SEBI, the objectives, the functions, objectives and the functions of SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. This is the important topic. You should know about its objective, why it is established, set up, and what are its objectives, and what are the functions. The functions like regulatory function, right? And other functions which are important uh, to be answered in this particular uh, topic. Developmental functions are there, then there are regulatory functions, right? And the third one is protective functions. How does SEBI perform these functions? What are the reasons for establishment of SEBI? Then there is a trading procedure of a stock exchange. What is stock exchange and how does trading take place? How does trading take place? Selection of broker, opening of demat account, eh, then placing the order, execution of the order, settlement of the order. All these are very very important in this. Primary market and secondary market, the difference between the two must go through. The difference between the two you must go through. Two important terms are there: right issue, and EIPOs. EIPOs, initial public offer, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू जो आपका पब्लिक को ऑफर किया जाता है, शेयर्स एंड डिवेंचर्स ट्रेडिंग, इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफर, EIPOs and right issue. These are two important terms, and one more is there: private placement of shares. Private placement of shares. These are the methods of floating securities in this chapter, which everybody should go through. Then there is money market instruments in this chapter. Money market instruments. When you will primary and secondary market के बाद capital market and money market is another important topic with money market instruments. Money market instruments can be asked this time in the exam, in the board exam. Any two money market instruments like treasury bill, commercial paper, certificate of deposit, right, call money, you should be able to answer them in 2 or 3 lines. This was chapter number 10. Moving on to our next chapter, which is financial management. This chapter is also very very important from the board exam point of view. A long question and a short answer type question can be asked from this. The chapter may vary from 8 to 10 marks, right? Very important topic to be covered in this chapter is financial planning. What is financial planning and what are the objectives of financial planning or importance of financial planning, right? Very very important topic. Next one is the capital structure. What is the capital structure? And relating to it, what are the factors which affect the composition of capital structure, the way it is designed, what should be the proportion of debt and equity, owners fund and borrowed funds, both must be taken care of. A decision based on lot of research, observation, past experiences and market conditions, cash flow positions and interest of the stakeholder, company's will or wish of giving your control to others. It depends on so many things, so many factors to design a capital structure, and the factors which affect it with the important topic of financial leverage. How does a debt component increases the earning per share? Earning per share of a company largely depends upon uh, the debt component. So you may have to uh, give the table comparing the two companies or two situations where you would show that the debt component increases earning per share. So it is very, very important, but it's very risky also. So आपको उसके बारे में explain करके लिखना होगा that this is the ideal proportion of debt and equity. This should be the gearing ratio. Last two topics जिसमें से only one will be asked in the exam, that is fixed and working capital requirements. You may have to identify. It can be a direct question also, but if it is not, you will have to identify the requirement of either it is a fixed capital requirement or working capital requirement, and you must be very clear as to what requirement is being referred to in the case or in the question. It can be a fixed capital requirement, and you should be very, very sure to write the factors affecting the fixed capital requirement only. Company needs funds, huge funds for expansion and growth, for the purchase of say machineries, plant and machineries, buildings, and new technology or new ventures going to be uh, company wants to go into new ventures and deals. So it requires huge fund. If a case study is based on these type of uh, things, then it is understood that it requires funds for investments. So it would be fixed capital requirement. You know that for the growth of for the expansion of the business, it is huge capital requirement for long term use so that the earning capacity of the firm grows, net worth of the firm grows. So it is referred to as fixed capital requirement. So that should be there. Then if a company uh, wants funds for day-to-day working capital requirement, that too should be very, very clear. And the factors relating to these, nature of the business, scale of operation, then there are seasonal factors, there is a credit availed and credit allowed in working capital requirement. All these should be uh, studied and understood well. That's all in this chapter. I have covered 4 chapters till now. I hope you are able to understand after going through this video at least what are the important topics we should uh, go through. Many of the students are always in a confusion, in a dilemma as to from where to start, what to study, and because of the shortage of time, they always think that it is useless to study everything now. It is also very tempting, to study some important questions or points so that at least we may get through. But I am telling you that if you go through these important topics or points, or you can say questions, I'm very sure not only an average student or a below average student, but a student who is aiming high, more than 80%, can also benefit from this session, also benefit from this session. I am in direct conversation with you just because I want my students and anyone who wish to who wants to do well, he should be having proper guidance. I'm not saying that you should do selective study, but I want to tell you that you should do smart study. Smart study means a child should know, and if he does not know, he should take guidance from his well wishers, his mentors, his respected teachers as to what can be studied in these days, especially before exam, 4 or 5 days. What topics should be studied again and again so as to score more, so as to score better. And for that, you need to go through those previous year's sample papers, questions, and tests, and also take guidance from your teachers that what are the most probable questions for the board exams. If you go through seriously, you will find that there are certain topics, there are certain concepts, there are certain uh, important points in each and every chapter, which without which a chapter is not complete, without which a chapter is meaningless. So those are the topics which are repeatedly asked in the exams. So I would suggest you to go through all these topics, important topics. Part B, I have already given you now, and I'm very sure you will get very, very good marks, more than your expectations. But I will give you two important suggestions. Number one, do not leave any topic. Whatever topics I have given you now, I have shared with you, you have to do all the topics. You have to do all the topics. Number two, please move to another chapter when you have completed a chapter. First, 12th chapter, if you are doing, you should complete it. Complete it means whatever topics I have given, I have shared, go through all the topics. Then go to the next chapter. It should not be that I have given you 30 questions and you have done only 15 or 20 topics of your choice. You can leave 2 chapters, you can leave 3 chapters, but the rest 8 or 9 chapters, you should do question by question, topic by topic, all. Because I am telling you, question paper, more than 80% will be out of this, what I am sharing with you today. Now I will move on to part A. And I will share with you questions related to different chapters, topics related to different chapters, but that will be in the next session. This one was especially for part B because there are only 4 chapters and they are of 30 marks. One more thing, this year in the marking scheme, in the question paper design, We have 1 mark questions, we have 3 marks question, we have 4 marks questions, and we have 6 marks questions. My dear students, there are no 5 marks questions this year for business studies. No 5 mark question. We have 6 marks question, we have 4 marks questions, we have 3 marks questions, and we have 1 mark questions, that is 20 questions of 1 mark. 20 questions of 1 mark. I will also share with you some of the very accurate sample papers designed by CBSE for the year. You can see the choices, internal choices in 3 marks, 4 marks, and 6 marks question, also in 1 mark. Also, you can see that the number of direct questions and case studies have been reduced to some extent. Some direct questions will be there. You can answer them as per your studies, whatever you have studied. Answer them to the point, relevant answers with proper headings. Use proper headings. Without headings, don't attempt a question. If you can find some suitable heading and then answer the question. In all the questions of differentiation, use proper basis of difference, write proper basis of difference, and try to solve long questions first. 6 marks, 4 marks, 3 marks, and then go to 1 mark question. Then go to 1 mark question. It is my suggestion that first attempt long answer type and short answer type questions. Then only go to 1 mark questions. 20 questions are there. They can be multiple choice. They can be 1 mark objective, fill in the blanks. They can be match the following also. Okay, and answer them in 1 word or in 1 sentence only. Do not use a lot of time on these questions, 1 mark questions. You need to focus on case studies. You have to read them once or twice. So it takes time. Write to the point, write less, but write what is asked in the exam. Write relevant answers. Do not write what you know. Do not write just because you know a particular topic and you are just writing on it, though it is not asked in the exam. In the exam, you get marks for what is asked, not what you know. You may know many things, but if it is not asked in the exam, even if you fill hundreds of pages, it will not be marked. It will not be given any weightage. So that is all for today. I hope what you have to study in part B, you must be clear about it, what topics you should go through, how you should answer, and what you should write. I have tried to explain you. Go through the points, go through the concepts. If there is a need, draw proper diagrams, draw proper charts, tables. Give something different, right? Even if you write a small answer, try to use headings, highlighters, underline it, make a table, use proper punctuation, which can be little different from normal answers. And content should be very relevant. Don't write irrelevant things. This is my personal suggestion to all of you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And if possible, share it with your friends as to uh, what to study. The topic is the the objective of this interaction is to tell you to try to you know make you comfortable, try to make you a little lighter, in a lighter mood, that exams are not, they you should not be afraid of them. You should be facing them with a lot of happiness, interest. And if you were confused, if you are not very clear about what to study, then please try to follow this for your pre-board and other exams or mock tests. I'm sure if you will be able to revise these things, study these things, you will be able to score much, much better than your expectations. Thank you. God bless all of you.